We did get Chris and Dana something, didn't we, honey? So we did give Chris and Dana stuff, right?
I have those packages still, yes.
Oh shit! I should have took them with me.
I'll catch up with them after Christmas.
Okay.
I know I have something for them.
Okay, they got me 2 games.
Yeah, they got me a game too.
They got me I'm Not a Monster, First Contact, and Trails of Cold Steel.
Are we starting yet?
You're live. We can see your butt.
My butt!
This one doesn't fit me, but should I wear this one instead?
I think you should wear which hat makes you happy.
Oh, I forgot to add the Stravatars to that scene.
I realize how much on my side desk everybody can see. It's okay. Who cares? Nobody cares. There we go. Now they see a mess. There you go. Now they can't see my vitamins!
Me. Ah. Narcissistic opera singer.
Really?
The Flash paid his bank loans. The Flash paid his bank loans.
What?
It's Ron Burgundy.
I didn't know the Flash had bank loans. You know, run the creditors. All right. Hi, Deborah. Zealous. You need to get your hat on.
Hi, Milo.
I want to see it flop around. Come on, dude.
Do it. Do it.
I'm doing it, and doing it right.
What's a more festive hat, Siddious?
It doesn't fit me though. It's a little tight.
You know, you should have Zola hit that at the very end.
Just fade to black on that.
It'd also be a good intermission moment.
Speaking of which, I need to use the bathroom.
Bathroom is a good thing. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10.
Okay, we may need to take that toy from the puppy for tonight.
Just for like an hour and a half. He can have it during intermission.
Ba, 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 da, da, da. Excuse me.
There is no excuse for what you've done.
No.
Never any excuse.
I have hot chocolate.
I do too. What remains of it?
I have a burger.
I have 3 burgers. 3 little sliders.
I got some water.
I also have
Oh.
water. I have water, hot
And I need
chocolate, and a LaCroix.
Don't
So
spill.
basically, you've got water.
Yeah.
Yeah, water and
Chocolate
fizzy
water.
water.
Fizzy water, plain water.
What flavor is that LaCroix?
It is the okay. So, fun fact: the hibiscus LaCroix is the best LaCroix flavor.
So
Um,
you had a truck full of LaCroix pass by a hibiscus bush.
no, this actually tastes like hibiscus.
Right. It just passed right by it.
How many hibiscuses have you eaten?
All of them.
Even that one.
No.
I've had a lot of hibiscus tea.
Okay. Alright. Fair enough. It's 8:33.
We gave Zealous a bill.
No, that was
You
it.
gave me
That was
Something to-
Zealous.
to bat
that
at.
was his face. Am I hosting you yet?
I don't know.
Oh, yep. It says hosting Sid. All right. I win.
Did you just say you win?
I win. I'm in. I'm in the mainframe, guys.
Attention, everyone. 3 minutes remaining. 3 minutes. Please take your seats. The show is about to start.
If you say so.
The lobby and the snack counter will be closed until intermission, so make your final purchases now. The concession stands will close until intermission.
You know what's not useful to be looking at? The cast list.
I'm gonna turn my phone on silent, I believe.
That's a fantastic idea.
Excuse me.
Please silence your phone so you do not disturb the other members of the audience.
Attention, all members. The house will open in 2 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes. The curtains will open. Please take your seats. If I could, like, dim the lights like they do
Well,
on the
so that's why you
stream.
gotta put on a transition on your sub so you can like just darken the screen a little. Hershey, who was watching the stream on their phone, would miss the entire stream. They silenced the phone. Aw, pretty cat. I see a cat behind you.
That is taken. They just got food.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. The curtains will rise in 30 seconds. 30 seconds, the curtains will rise. Please take your seats.
Start
We
the
have an
show
emergency
gone.
puppy potty break.
Due to technical difficulties, the curtains will rise in 5 minutes. The curtains will rise in 5 minutes.
What is going
Somebody
on
had
over
to
there?
take a potty break
is-
before.
I'm sorry,
you
the
calling
curtains
me,
will
dear?
rise in 5 minutes. The curtains will rise in 5 minutes. What are you doing? Is he coming back?
Now Cat left.
They're coming.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, the curtains will rise in 2 minutes. The curtains will rise in 2 minutes. Thank you. What? No. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the curtains will rise in 10 minutes. The curtains will rise in 10 minutes.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the production has been shut down.
Our star actor has just been hit by a bus. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The curtains will rise in 1 minute. The curtains will rise in 1 minute.
No? What?
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the curtains will rise in 5 minutes. The curtains will rise in 5. Anybody know what? Do anybody know where that's from?
Noise is off.
What you don't see is that I think we have like almost 2 inches of fluffy snow now.
Oh.
And the dog just went out and he was like,
Bixby
what?
in He had to swim in it and go potty.
Oh yeah, it's almost
Poor
up to his
dog.
belly. I mean, seriously. All
Poor
right, he's
Busy.
coming in. Poor big.
His tail
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the show. Tonight's production is a live production, so please refrain from using any flash photography or recording this session. You know what? I don't care. Record it. That's fine.
Aren't you recording it? Just saying.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I'm Siddious67, and you are watching my stream. And welcome to the production of A Christmas Carol with friends and family. Welcome, everyone. We have to my, I think that's my left here, which is actually my right, is Zealous Mark II, filling in for Scrooge McDuck.
I'm going to wreck it.
And right below me is my lovely wife, Titchery, filling in for other parts as well.
Do you want a cookie? It's delicious.
And to her left is Kepalili, Zealous's other half.
Hello there.
And front line and center on the bottom, last but definitely not least, Decimus Mouse! Welcome!
Not gonna have some more.
Wrong.
And of course, I am Siddious67.
Right author.
Welcome everybody to a Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. Again, well, it's been a tradition almost the past 3 years now. I have actually read A Christmas Carol to you guys on Christmas Eve. And tonight, spur of a moment, I was like, hey, it'd be awesome? Let's do a production of it. And so the last literally 2 hours, we've been going over this script. We've divvied out the parts. Everybody is playing multiple parts, so I apologize if there's any confusion on that. So I will be doing mostly the narrator stuff. I can read the cast list. I can do that. The narrator will be provided by moi, yours truly. I will be the narrator. Ebenezer Scrooge, our main man, will be Zealous. Mark II over here. He's got big shoes to fill. Not so much because he has atrophied. Anyways, Scrooge does, not Zealous. The next one in line is Bob Cratchit. I will be playing Bob Cratchit. It is hot in here. Let's see. The Spirit of Christmas Past will be yours truly, Des. Our truly, Des, excuse me. The Spirit of Christmas Present will be Titchery. And the Spirit of Christmas Yet to Come mainly does not speak that much, so it will be narrated by me. Fred Howell, Ebenezer's nephew, will be me. Mrs. Cratchit will be Kepalili. Belinda Cratchit will be Titchery. Martha Cratchit will be Des. Peter Cratchit, myself. The two younger Cratchits will mostly be narrated, so that'll be myself as well. Tiny Tim will be Titchery. Janet Howell, Fred's new wife, will be Kepalili. Mr. Jeeves, charity solicitor, will be me. Mr. Howell will be also Des. Jacob Marley will also be me. School age Ebenezer, of course, will be Zealous. That's 8 years of age. And then young adult Ebenezer will be Zealous.
Neither
Fan,
such is a hard reach for him, we know.
Fan, Ebenezer's little sister, will be Titchery. Mr. Fezziwig, Ebenezer's jovial employer, will be me. Which I didn't go over, but that's fine. I got it. Mrs. Fezziwig will be Titch. Bella, Ebenezer's young romance, will be Kepalili. Gentleman number 1, myself. Gentleman number 2 is Des. The brokers 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be played by Sid, Kepalili, Titchery, and Des. Old Joe will be myself. Miss Oliver, the charwoman, will be Kep. Miss Dilber will be Des, and Mr. Tackleton, the Undertaker, will be myself, as well as Caroline will be Kep. So a lot of shoes to fill. A lot of parts, and we will do our best to do this. So
Surprisingly, there were quite a lot of parts in this.
yes, I didn't think there were so many freaking parts too. So Merry Christmas to all, and I hope you guys enjoy this rendition of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Marley was dead. To begin with, there is no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was considered good for any price of business he chose to put his hand to. Marley was as dead as a doornail. Now, I don't know what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I would think a coffin nail would be a deader piece of iron, but far be it from me to change the expression or the country's done for. So permit me to repeat once again, empathetically, that Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he knew he was dead. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he had been partners for I don't know how many years, but Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and the only man who mourned him. If Scrooge can be said to have mourned at all, and the mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point I started from, there is no doubt that Marley is dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of this story I am going to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterward, above the warehouse door, Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new to the business called Scrooge, and sometimes Marley. But he answered to both names. It was all the same to him. It was a bitter cold and fog, tonight was a bitter cold and fog which was thick as pea soup on that Christmas Eve on 1843, when Scrooge sat busily in his counting house with his clerks nearby trying to warm himself at a candle. But since he didn't have much of imagination, he failed. Oh. Merry Christmas, Uncle!
What?
I said, Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!
Bah, humbug.
Christmas humbug! Uncle, surely you don't mean that.
Of course I mean it. Merry Christmas indeed. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come, Uncle. What reason have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah! Away with Merry Christmas. What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money, a time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. As he should.
Uncle!
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then. A lot of good it has done you.
Well, there are many things from which I have benefited, even if they don't show a profit. I dare say Christmas among the rest. But if anything belongs to Christmas can be considered apart from the sacred source of its name and origin, I'm sure I have always thought of Christmas as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time of year I know of when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and think of others as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave. And therefore, Uncle, therefore, though it has never put a scrap of silver or gold in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Another sound out of you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your position.
Bob Cratchit slinks back to his work. Don't be angry, Uncle. Come and dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see myself in hell first.
But why, Uncle?
Why? Why? Let me ask you a question. Why did you get married recently?
Because I fell in love, of course.
Love. You fell in love. Ha! Good afternoon, nephew.
But you never came to see me before I married. Why give it a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to find you so resolute. We've never had a quarrel, you and I, but I came all this way to give you greetings of the season, and I keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
Fred hurries off. And a Happy New Year!
Good afternoon.
Fred pops back in. And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob Cratchit. Oh, thank you, sir. A Merry Christmas to you.
There's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week and a wife and a family, talking about Merry Christmas. I'll retire to bed.
Jeeves and Howell, charity solicitors, ring the doorbell. Scrooge and Marley, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's dead. In fact, he died 7 years ago this very night.
Oh, I'm quite sorry to hear that, but I have no doubt his generosity is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and needy, who suffer greatly at present time. Many thousands are in want of basic needs. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons? Did they disappear?
Oh, no, sir. There are plenty of prisons.
Oh, and workhouses for the poor. Still in operation, I assume.
Oh, they are. Still, I wish I could say they were not.
And the treadmill and the poor laws are in vigor, yes?
Yes, very busy, sir.
Well, I'm afraid from what you have said that something has stopped them in their useful course. I'm glad to hear it.
Given that scarcely furnished Christian cheer to the multitude, a few of us are trying to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink, and some means of warmth. We chose this time because it is a time above all others when want is keenly felt, and abundance rejoices. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Ah, you wish to be anonymous, then?
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I'm taxed for this institution I've mentioned, and they cost enough. Those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there, and many would rather die.
Oh, well, if they'd rather die, perhaps they should go ahead and do it, and decrease the surplus population. Besides, I wouldn't know anything about it.
Well, you could know it, sir.
It's none of my business. I have too much of my own business to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly, and I thank you to leave me to it. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
As the solicitors exit, a few carolers enter and sing a few songs. Bob Cratchit is pleased.
Now, get away from here! I didn't ask to be bothered with that noise!
The carolers are startled and rush off.
And you'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. It's not fair. If I was to hold back half a crown for it, you'd think you were being abused, no doubt. And yet you think me ill-used when I pay a day's wage for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December, but I suppose you must have it. Be here all the earlier next morning.
Oh yes, sir. I shall. I certainly shall. Cratchit dons his scarf and snuffs out the candle to meet Tiny Tim hobbling on a crutch, his face aglow. Oh, hello, my dear son.
Father, I've been waiting for you.
Let's go by Corn Hill and watch the children play. Someday you'll be there too, playing with them.
I feel I'm getting stronger every day.
And do you remember what tomorrow is?
Christmas Day!
That's right, and I'm to have the whole day off to celebrate with my family.
Hooray for Christmas!
Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim, and Bob Cratchit takes Tiny Tim and carries him off, and they break into a carol together. Oh, Scrooge! He was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone. He was a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner, to be sure. Secret, self-contained, and solitary as an oyster, he carried his own low temperature with him everywhere he went. He iced his office in the dog days and didn't thaw it on 1 degree at Christmas. Scrooge always took his melancholy dinner in the same melancholy tavern, and this night was no different. He read all the papers and beguiled the rest of the evening with his banker's book. Before he took himself home to bed, he lived in chambers which had once belonged to his deceased partner. They were a gloomy suite of rooms. It was an old and dreary, for nobody lived in it but Scrooge. The other rooms being all let out as offices. The fog and frost so hung about the black old gateway of the house that it seemed as if the genius of the weather sat in mournful meditation on the threshold. Upon arriving in his chamber, Scrooge took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown, slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel, for he had a cold in his head. It was a very low fire indeed, nothing on such a bitter night. He was obliged to sit close to it and brood over it before he could extract the least sensation of warmth from such a handful of fuel. So Scrooge, sitting in front of his empty fireplace in his dressing gown, slippers, nightcap, eating his gruel, mumbling occasionally, his bed nearby. Suddenly, bells begin to ring. Scrooge, startled. It begins slowly at first, then it becomes faster and louder and more insistent. It stops just as sudden, leaving Scrooge momentarily frozen. He goes back to his gruel, mumbling. We can hear the sounds of heavy chains dragging across this floor. Scrooge! Scrooge!
Humbug! I won't believe it!
Marley. A figure of Marley enters as a grayish-white figure bound in cash boxes and thick ledgers, oversized chains, and with a huge padlock, all the same color. He stops and stares at Scrooge.
How's this? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
All right. Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
I don't believe it.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You might be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a fragment of undone potato. There's more of gravy than of the grave about you, whatever you are. Mercy, dreadful apparition. Why do you trouble me?
Man of the worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do, I must. But why? Why have you come for me?
It is required of every man that his spirit should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit does not go forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared and turned to happiness. Oh, woe is me!
You are fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the change I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard, and wore it of my own free will. Is the pattern strange to you? Or would you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? It was as long and heavy as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob, old friend, please speak comfort to me.
I have none to give. I have little time. I cannot rest. I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole. Oh, not to know what any Christian spirit worked kindly in its little sphere will find its mortal life too short for its vast means of usefulness. Not to know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life opportunity misused. Yet, such was I. Oh, such was I.
But you're always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Humankind was my business. The Commonwealth was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealing of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. Oh, why
I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor abode. Were there no poor homes to which in light would have conducted me? Hear me! My time is nearly done.
I will, Jacob. But don't be hard on me.
I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance of escaping my fate. A chance I have procured for you, Ebenezer.
Oh, you were always a good friend. Thank you.
You will be visited by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance you mentioned?
It is.
Oh, well then, I think I'd rather not.
Without the visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread, except the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
Can't they all come at once and have it over with, Jacob?
Expect the second on the night at the same hour, the third upon the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more. And for your sake, take care that you remember what has passed between us.
Marley slowly backs up. We hear screams and the chains moving as he slumps and attempts to shake the chains off.
Oh, humbug!
We see Scrooge the next night, pacing the floor, crawling into bed, tossing and turning. And so Scrooge, in his bed, and thought it over, and could not make nothing of it. The more he thought, the more perplexed he was, and the more he endeavored not to think, the more he thought. Marley's spirit bothered him exceedingly. Every time he resolved within himself that it was all a dream, his mind flew back again like a strong spring released to its first position and presented the same problem to be worked all through.
Was it a dream then? 1:15. 1:30. 1:45 to it. The hour itself and nothing else.
Pleased with himself, Scrooge gets back into bed, although a figure suddenly emerges and takes position at the head of Scrooge's bed.
Scrooge!
Are you the spirit whose coming I was told about?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the spirit of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Perhaps you could turn down the light that accompanies you.
What? You would so soon put out the light that I give? Yours are the dark passions that would extinguish the light of truth.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to offend. What brings you here?
Your welfare, of course.
I can't think of anything more conducive to my welfare than a night of uninterrupted sleep.
Your reformation, then! Take heed! Rise and walk with me!
Scrooge stands and takes the spirit of Christmas past his hand. He rises and walks with her, as the scene slowly fades from his office to a country scene in winter. Carolers can be heard off in the distance.
Oh, good heavens. I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling. And what is that upon your cheek?
What's what? Nothing. It must be a pimple. Lead me where you should, spirit.
Do you remember the way, Ebenezer?
Remember it? I could walk it blindfolded.
Strange that you've forgotten it for so many years.
A small group of boys are seen in the distance, running and laughing, jostling, joking, celebrating holiday from school. They stop and huddle. Scrooge looks on, wide-eyed.
Why, that's David Masterson and Robert Estes. Well, hello!
These are merely shadows of the things that have been. They are not aware of us.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Hey, say hello to your sister for me. Don't eat too much figgy pudding.
This school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Oh, poor boy. My mother died giving birth to my sister. My father grew morose and seemed to begrudge us both ever after. I wish... but it's too late now.
What is it?
It's nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given him something, that's all.
Scrooge suddenly reveals an old young adult himself, pacing back and forth, agitated. The young Scrooge fan, young Scrooge's young romance fan enters and throws her arms around him.
Dear brother.
Oh, Fan, little Fan, you've grown.
I have come to bring you home, dear brother.
Home, little Fan?
Yes, home. For good and all.
Sorry.
Father is much kinder than he used to be.
Sister.
He was in pleasant mood just the other night, so that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me to bring you. Ebenezer, Father has arranged an apprenticeship for you. You're to be a man and begin your career. You'll never have to spend another moment in this dreadful school. But first, we'll all be together for Christmas, all Christmas long, and have the merriest time in all the world.
Your sister was a frail creature and often ill, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right about that, spirit. I will not contradict it. God forbid.
Come, Ebenezer, pack your things. The carriage is just outside.
Are you sure Father is ready to have me home?
Oh, yes, I am sure of it.
But where am I to be apprenticed?
You will work for a wonderful man, Mr. Fezziwig, who keeps a warehouse. Now come, we mustn't keep the carriage waiting.
Your sister died a young woman, but she did have a child, as I recall.
Yes, a son. My nephew. His name is Fred Hallowell.
Your nephew, Ebenezer, the only family you have left.
Yes, that is true.
Come along, Ebenezer. It is time to see another Christmas.
The scene changes and shimmers out. All of a sudden, a large barn is seen where, with a high desk and a piano underneath. Music is playing in the background.
Do you know this place?
Know it? This is where I was apprenticed. Look, it's old Fezziwig. Oh, bless his heart. Fezziwig's alive again. And there's Dick Wilkins. We were the best of friends.
Ho there, Ebenezer, Dick. No more working tonight, my boys. It's Christmas Eve! Clear all this nonsense away, all of you. We must make room. Life is too short for all work and no play. I say it's time for a party. Heely-ho, Dick! Tear up, Ebenezer!
The tables are cleared and more room is made. More revelers appear, and including a fiddler and his fiddle, and Mrs. Fezziwig and her daughters. They greet one another. Fiddler strikes and starts playing a jig, and they begin to dance. Scrooge stands by, enjoying all of this. Belle is at the party as well. She is targeted by Ebenezer during the dance and revelry. She can see that he is clearly smitten. Or we can see that he's clearly smitten.
It's such a small thing to make these silly people feel so much gratitude and joy.
Small thing?
Is it not? After all, what did he do, this Fezziwig? Spent a few pounds on a party. Does he deserve such praise as this?
Isn't that spirit? Why, Mr. Fezziwig was the power to make us happy or unhappy. He can make our work pleasant or miserable. Just in the way he looks at us, and the way he addresses us. 1,000 such little things add up. You know, until the happiness he gives is as great as if it costs a fortune, and...
What is it?
Nothing.
Something, I think.
No, it's just that I would like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now. That's all.
Come, Ebenezer. My time grows short. Look.
This was not addressed to Scrooge, or to anyone whom he could see, but it produced an immediate effect. For again Scrooge saw himself. He was a little older now, a man in the prime of life. His face had not the harsh and rigid lines of later years, but it had begun to wear the signs of care and of avarice. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in his eyes, which showed the passion that had taken root, and where the shadow of the growing tree would fall.
Excuse me. I know it matters very little to you. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can make you as happy as I would have tried to do, I have no reason to cry.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
Now there's a double standard for you. All the world speaks so vehemently against poverty, yet it condemns the pursuit of wealth just as harshly.
You feel the world too much, Ebenezer. All your other hopes have merged into the one hope of eluding the disdain of others. I have seen your nobler virtues fall away, one by one, until nothing is left but one master passion, the pursuit of profit. It consumes you.
What then? Even if I have grown wiser and more astute, I haven't changed my feelings towards you.
Oh, Ebenezer, our promise to one another is an old one. We made it when we were young and poor, and happy to remain so until we could improve our fortune together by patience and hard work. But you've changed. You're not the same man. Tell me, Ebenezer, if all of this had not happened, would you seek me out and try to win me now, a poor, dowerless girl with nothing to bring to a marriage? Just as I thought. You may feel sad now, Ebenezer, but I've no doubt that you will dismiss the thought of me very soon, as if you were glad to have awakened from a bad dream. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you enjoy torturing me?
There is one more shadow we must see.
I do not wish to see it. Show me no more.
All of a sudden, a shimmer, and two gentlemen appear in front of them. I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon.
Oh, who was it?
Take a guess.
Why, surely you don't mean old Ebenezer Scrooge?
The very same. I passed his office window. His partner, Jacob Marley, lies upon the point of death, I hear. And there he sat, old Scrooge, all alone. Quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Miserable wretch.
A spirit, remove me from this place.
I told you, these are shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Please, I beg you, take me away from here. I beg you no more, no more.
After this mighty struggle, if you could be called a struggle, Scrooge was conscious of being exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness, and further of being in his own bedroom, once again. He barely had time to reel the bed before he sank into heavy sleep. Scrooge wakes himself up from a prodigious tough snore and sits up in bed. He looks around, expecting another ghost. Just as he goes to lie down, he hears. You're muted.
See, I was coughing and I muted my. I am sorry, guys. Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Ah!
Scrooge sits bolt right up from bed, and and seated on the throne upon the platform is another spirit, bedecked with mistletoe and heaps from a feast fit for a king. She is an impressive figure in full brigade, wearing a green robe trimmed in white fur and crowned with a holy wreath. She holds a golden torch in her hand, which is filled with stardust. Scrooge slowly approaches.
Come here and know me better, man. I am the spirit of Christmas present, and you have never seen the likes of me before.
No, never.
You've never walked forth with any of my elder brothers born these later years?
No, I don't think I have. Have you had many brothers, Spirit?
More than 2,000.
Tremendous family to provide for.
Take hold of my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Where, pray tell, are we going?
Oh, you will see.
Scrooge nervously reaches out and touches the spectral's robe. A light of flash happens, and they are whisked away to merchant shops that appear out of nowhere. Aisles from the back of the housings, and carolers singing "I Saw 3 Ships." They make their way forward to stage over to the next area where the snow falls gingerly, with a great happily a bustling and greeting and cheering of people in good-natured spirit of the market. Haggling, Scrooge and the spirit appear. As they make their way among the crowd, the spirit sprinkles stardust on those who pass by.
Is there a peculiar flavor in what you sprinkle from your torch?
There is indeed my own.
Would it apply to any kind of dinner on this day?
To any kindly given to the poor one most.
Why to a poor one most?
Because it needs most.
Oh, Spirit, why do you of all the beings in this many worlds about us desire to cramp these people's opportunities of innocent enjoyment?
I?
Well, you would deprive them of their means of dining every 7th day when markets are closed. Often the only day of which they can be said to have dined at all, wouldn't you?
I would?
You seek to close these places on the 7th day, and it comes to the same thing?
I seek?
Forgive me, I was wrong. It has been done in your name, at least in that of your family.
Upon this earth of yours who claim to know us, and who do their deeds of passion, pride, ill will, hatred, envy, bigotry, and selfishness in your name, who are as strange to us and all our kith and kin as if they had never lived. Remember that and charge their doing on themselves, not us.
All of a sudden, the area around them goes black. Bells can be heard, and all of a sudden it lights up, and they are there on the Cratchit family table.
Whatever has got your precious father, then, and your brother, Tiny Tim, and Martha wasn't this late last Christmas by half an hour?
Here I am, Mother!
Oh, Martha, how late you are.
We had a great deal of work to finish at the milliner's last night, and a great deal to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind. You are home now. Sit down and warm yourself, dear.
Father will be home any minute. Hide, Martha, hide.
Martha excitedly runs and hides herself as Bob Cratchit gingerly enters the house, bearing Tiny Tim, holding him in his arms. He is enthusiastically greeted by the family, and he kisses his wife. Ah, but where is Martha?
She won't be coming for Christmas this year, I'm afraid.
What? Not coming for Christmas?
Oh, here I am, Father.
Oh, Martha! She embraces Bob, and Bob covers her in 1,000 kisses.
And did little Tim behave himself in church today?
No, he did. As good as a gold, and better. Somehow, he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much and thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in the church because he was a cripple and it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. But he's growing stronger every day. I just know it.
Martha, help me with the goose.
There's such a goose, Father. Such as we've never had before. Peter enters with the goose, and Mrs. Cratchit re-enters in a high procession with a small goose on a platter. With Peter, sorry. Followed in by a parade of Martha and the 2 younger Cratchits. It's placed on the table and all are seated. Such a goose! Just smell the sage and onions. Mother outdid herself this year. I hope we got it for a good price. It wasn't expensive at all. Merry Christmas to all. All, my dears. God bless us.
God
bless
us.
God blesses everyone.
I had no idea Cratchit had a crippled son.
I wonder why.
Tell me, Spirit, will the boy live?
I see a vacant seat at this table and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, that can't be. Say he'll be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here. But what difference does it make? If he is likely to die, then let him die and decrease the surplus of population.
You use my own words against me.
Yes, so that in the future perhaps you will hold your tongue until you have discovered what the surplus population is and where it is. Who are you to decide who shall live and who shall die? It may be that, in the sight of heaven, you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
And now, dear ones, a toast. I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of our feast.
The founder of our feast indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day when one would drink the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Ebenezer Scrooge. No one knows it better than you, Bob.
My dear, have a little charity.
Oh, all right then. I'll drink to his health, for your sake and the day's sake, but not for his. Long life to him, a very Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. I've no doubt he'll be very merry indeed and very happy.
To Mr. Scrooge.
To Mr. Scrooge.
To Mr. Scrooge.
To Mr. Scrooge.
I think it's time for a song.
A Christmas carol.
What shall we sing?
Hark the herald
Don't know the actual words because I forgot to build them up on the internet.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to an intermission. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying this rendition of A Christmas Carol. Please give us about maybe 5 minutes or so, maybe 10, while we shake our wee ones and our candy canes. Smoke them if you got them.
Hey, bellboy.
Is that him?
I said, hey, bellboy. I don't think I can wear this hat.
My roommate made cookies.
Nice. Like that.
Des got cookies. Des
That's
got
got cookies. And she's not sharing.
You live too far away. I felt really bad. I got a phone call from somebody I expected to call like at 7. And so they called, and I was like, "Hi, I'm actually in the middle of a performance right now. My part's coming up in like a minute."
What'd they say?
I don't know. I said I'll be
shit.
here to Steve. They're gonna call me next week. But I didn't want to just not answer
before we get back going, you got a sub there for 13 months.
I see that. Yes. Thank you so much, Horse Kel, for the that's all, folks. The resubscribe. Thank you so much for that.
13 months. What?
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The curtains will rise in 2 minutes.
I got me blooming onion.
A blooming onion.
Blooming onion. I want
Blooming
some
onion.
from it.
All right. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I am having a wonderful time. This is amazing.
This is
been a lot of
fun.
All right, let's
Blesses everyone.
let's jump right back into it. Okay. Act 2. Merry Christmas, Horse. We see a small crowd at a party on Christmas Day. They sing a stanza of Christmas carols, after which they dance. Afterward, all are holding drinks. Scrooge and the spirit of Christmas past. Present. Sorry. Spirit of Christmas present enter to behold the scene. He said that Christmas was a humbug, Fred. I'm sorry. He said Christmas was a humbug. He believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
He's really a comical old fellow, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he is very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
But his wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it, and I sincerely doubt he would ever consider benefiting us with it.
I have no pity for him.
No, but I have. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself always. Here, he takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? He loses some pleasant moments, which could do him no harm. I mean, to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not, I think I may have cracked the old boy yesterday, if I do say so myself. He has given us plenty of merriment, I'm sure, and it would be ungrateful not to drink his health. Here's to Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge.
I would normally take offense at such tasteless banter and laughter at my expense. However, in view of the general gaiety of the occasion, I am inclined to overlook it.
That is quite noble of you.
Forgive me, Spirit. I'm not justified in asking, but I see something strange, and I, not belonging to yourself, protruding there from your skirt. Is it a foot or a claw?
It might be a claw for all the flesh there is on it. Look here.
The spirit of Christmas present draws aside the folds of his robe to disclose want and ignorance. Two thin, dirty, wretched scowl waifs, crouched and clutching at his feet.
Spirit, are they yours?
No, they are yours, Scrooge. Do you not know them? This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Beware them both, and all of their kind, but most of all beware this boy, for on his brow I see written the word doom, unless the writing is erased. I dare ye to deny it. I dare ye to slander those who claim otherwise, and see where it leads.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
The chime strikes 12. A storm can be heard outside, winds and thunder. Scrooge, standing dazed, the sound of wind and thunder, the spirit of Christmas present has disappeared, and in its place approaches the spirit of Christmas yet to come. It is a tall figure, entirely cloaked and hooded in black. All that we will see of this figure are its bony hands.
I take it I'm in the presence of the spirit of the Christmas yet to come?
The spirit nods.
You're about to show me shadows of things that have not yet happened, but will happen in time before us. Is that not so, Spirit?
Again, he nods.
Spirit, I fear you more than any specter I've seen. Will you not speak to me?
The spirit lifts a bony arm and points past, way beyond Scrooge.
Very well, lead on then. The night is passing fast, and it is precious time to me. Lead on, Spirit.
The spirit starts to walk slowly, Scrooge following after him. A small band of brokers appear in front of them.
Why, I know these men. And this place, it's the stock exchange. It's a second home to me.
The spirit only points to the group of men. I don't know anything about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, what was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
Oh, God knows.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it with his company, perhaps. I only know he hasn't left it to me.
Well, it's likely to be a cheap funeral. I don't know anybody who would go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
Oh, I don't mind going if lunch is provided, but I must be fed for all the trouble it's worth.
Well, if it matters little to me either way, I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch. But I'll offer to go if anyone else will. Well, off to business. Goodbye.
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 Bye.
Have these men no sense of decency or decorum? Spirit, what is this? Why am I seeing this?
The spirit slowly turns and points in the opposite direction, at which a spot comes up, revealing a greasy, bedraggled old man sitting on a chair and surrounded by an odd collection of junk in and out of boxes, old irons, rags, old clothes, moldy books, bottles, etc. Two old crones and a man in a black slink into the scene, carrying bundles, as Scrooge watches on.
I was here first. Miss Dilber shall be after me, and then the undertaker's man can be third. Isn't this something, Joe? All of us here met here without meaning it.
You could have met in a better place. Come in and sit, don't be shy. We're all suitable to our seat or calling. We're all matched to be sure. Come in.
What odds, then? What odds, Miss Dilber? Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
That's true indeed, no more so.
Well then, don't just stand there staring as if you're afraid, woman. Who's the wiser? We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed.
We should hope not.
Very well, then. Who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, the wicked old screw, why wasn't he more natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying, gasping out his last there, all alone, by himself.
That's the truest words that ever was spoken, Miss Oliver. Yeah, it's a judgment on him.
I wish it was a little heavier one, and it should have been. You can count me on it.
If I could have laid my hands on anything else, now open that bundle, Joe, and let me know its value to ye. Speak out plain, I'm not afraid to be the first, nor afraid for them to see it. We know pretty well we were helping ourselves before we met here. I believe it's no sin to see to one's livelihood.
Mr. Tackleton steps forward not to be outdone and produces his plunder. Ah, Mr. Tackleton has been a busy man. Let's see, a shield, a pencil case, a pair of sleeve buttons. I'll give you £1.8 and not another sixpence. If I was to be boiled for not doing it. Who's next? Miss Dilbert presents her bundle. Old Joe brings out sheets, towels, and a few articles of clothing and some silver.
Ah, quite a stash, Mrs. Dilbert. Of course, I always give too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine, and that's the way I ruin myself. £3 even, Miss Dilbert. If you asked me for another penny and made an open question, I repent of being so liberal and knock off half a crown.
And now undo my bundle, Joe. I was first.
Ah, then what do you call this? Bed curtains?
Bed curtains. Ha ha!
You don't mean to say you took 'em down, rings and all, with him laying there?
And why not? He wasn't apt to catch his cold without him, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
Don't you be afraid of that. I wasn't so fond of his company, and I'd loiter about if he did.
Old Joel pulls out a fine silk shirt.
You may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it, nor a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one, too. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
Now what do you call wasting it?
Why, putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure.
Laughter. Old Joel figures sums in his head and then opens a money bag filled with coins and counts them out into her hand.
£4, 6 shillings and 2p, and not a penny more if I was to be boiled for it.
And this is how it ends. He scared me every one away from him when he was alive to profit us when he was dead.
Oh, Spirit, this is a fearful place. Surely there can be no reason to bring me to this God-forsaken part of the city, except that the case of this unhappy man might be my own. Yes, the items they have are stolen, are similar to mine. I see the point. But surely there is someone who feels some emotion caused by this man's death. Show that person to me, I beg you.
The spirit of Christmas yet to come turns and points to afar. Lights seem to rise upon a family table where 2 children are seated. The mother is pacing back and forth. The husband is sober, but not without hope.
Oh, finally you've come, Thomas. What have you heard? Is it good or bad?
It's bad, I'm afraid.
Are we ruined, Thomas? Did he deny you the extra time you asked for? Has he evicted us?
No, there is hope yet, Caroline.
Only if he repents, that old miser. Nothing is past hope if such a miracle has happened.
He is past repenting, dear. He is dead.
Dead? Oh, God be praised! Oh, Lord, forgive me.
I thought he was merely trying to avoid me, but what I had been told is quite true. Not only was he very ill, but he was dying, even then.
To whom will our debt be transferred?
I don't know, but before the time we will be ready with the money, and even if we weren't, it would be bad fortune indeed if find a creditor who was as merciless as he. We may sleep tonight with light hearts, Caroline.
A spirit! I asked to see emotion connected to this man's death, and you show me only pleasure. I demand to be shown some tenderness connected with his death.
Thunder and lightning swirl about as Scrooge turns and sees the Cratchit family table. The children are seated quietly. Mrs. Cratchit and the older girls are sewing. Peter is reading from the Bible. And he took He took a child and set him in the midst of them, and he said to them, whenever you welcome a little child, you welcome me.
This color hurts my eyes. There, better now. The candlelight makes them weak, and I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home. Not for the world. It must be near his time.
Pass it, rather. But I think he'd walked a little slower than he used to. These last few evenings, Mother.
Yes. I have known him to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed.
So have I.
So have I.
And
So have I.
But he was very light to carry, and his father loved him so, that it was no trouble at all. Is that your father now?
Mrs. Cratchit stands and greets Mr. Cratchit as he enters into their humble abode. They all greet him. He sits, a child on one knee. I went by there today. That's why I'm late. I wish you could have been there. It would have done you good to see how green it is. But you'll see it often. I promised that I would to walk there every Sunday to visit him, you see. He receives hugs from all the children. But guess whom I saw today? Fred Hallowell, Mr. Scrooge's nephew. I met him on the street. He said that I was a little down. Oh, he saw that I was a little down, and while he is the most pleasant-speaking man you ever heard, and so I was not afraid to tell him. And this is what he said to me. I am heartily sorry, Mr. Cratchit, heartily sorry. And he pledged to be of any service he could to us. He even gave me his card, and said I could call him at home. But it's not for the sake of anything he might be able to do for us, so much as for his kind anyway. I am thankful. It really seems as if he had known our Tiny Tim and felt with us. I've got good news for you, Peter. What is it, Father? Mr. Hallowell told me that when he's able to secure an apprenticeship, that he has been able to secure an apprenticeship for you. You begin at 8 shillings a week, starting Tuesday. 8 shillings.
Soon you will be keeping company with a young lady, Peter, and setting up house for yourself.
That will happen soon enough. But however and whenever you're parted from one another, I'm sure none of us will ever forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? No.
No.
Never, Father.
And I know as well, my dears, that when we remember how patient and mild he was, although he was a little child, we shall not quarrel among ourselves and forget our little Tim in doing it.
No.
No.
We won't, Mother, never.
Never.
Hugs all around, and Peter proudly steps up to shake his father's hand. The scene shimmers, leaving Scrooge and the spirit of Christmas yet to come alone.
Spirit. Something tells me the moment of our parting is at hand. I know it, but I do not know how. Tell me, the man who was spoken of, the one who died, tell me who he was.
The spirit points opposite, where lights come up on a grave scene. Scrooge is hesitant, loath to go, but slowly creeps forward.
Before I draw nearer to that stone which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or are they the shadows of things that may be?
The spirit points to the gravestone.
Course of a man's life is, if preserved in, will determine certain ends. I accept it. But if we depart from those course, the ends must change. Say so with what you show me.
The spirit continues to point. Scrooge slowly creeps towards the stone, trembling. Seeing the name inscribed there, he falls to his knees.
No, it can't be. Am I the man? Am I the man who died, whom no one mourned? Say it isn't so, spirits. Say it isn't so.
The spirit points to Scrooge and back to the stone.
Spirit, hear me. I'm not the man that I was. I will not be the man I must have been but for your intervention. Why show me this, if I am past all hope?
The spirit's hand begins to shake.
Surely your nature intercedes for me, that pities me. Assure me that I may yet change these shadows you've shown me by a changed life.
The hand continues to tremble.
I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I'll remember the lessons of the past. I'll live in the present. I will live toward the future. The spirits of all three will strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me that I may sponge away the writing on this stone.
Scrooge desperately grasps at the spirit's hand, grabbing at his robes, pleading, crying, pulling the figure down into a pile of black as he pleads. Light appears, and we hear the carolers outside singing a wonderful carol. The Scrooge is in his bedroom, and before him, as he wakes from a sob, the chime tolls 8.
Where am I? Wait, what day is this? It's morning, but what day? How long have I been with the spirits? I don't know. But I'm alive. I'm alive. Oh, they're still here. They're not torn down. They are here. I am here. I didn't know what to do, but I feel light as a feather. I'm happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy.
Scrooge runs to his window, looking out. A boy appears. Is the same boy who attempted to sing Scrooge a Christmas carol at the courthouse.
Hello, you boy. What day is it? Boy tries to run away.
Oh, the boy seeing Scrooge. Sorry, the boy seeing Scrooge starts to make a bolt for it.
Wait! Don't be afraid, my boy. What day is it?
What day is it?
Yes. What day is today?
Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day? Are you quite sure, my good fellow?
I should say I am.
When the spirits have done it all in one night, why, of course they can do anything they like. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
Do you know the poulterers in the next street, but the one at the corner?
I should say, hope I did.
Oh, what a wonderful boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging there?
What, the one as big as I am?
Oh, what a delightful boy. A pleasure talking with him. Yes, my buck. The one as big as you.
It's hanging there now.
It is. Why, then you must go and buy it. Yes, go and buy it now.
Please!
Oh, no. I really do mean it. Go and buy it and tell them to bring it round so that I can give them directions on where to deliver it. Come back with the man, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown.
The boy turns and is off like a shot.
I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He won't know who sent it. I won't tell him. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Oh, Tiny Tim will live. On my soul, Tiny Tim will live. And they did it all in one night. The spirits of Christmas, past and present, future, so strive within me. Oh, heaven in Christmas time be praised for this. I say this on my knees, dear Lord, on my knees. A Merry Christmas to everybody, and a Happy New Year to all the world.
Scrooge quickly darts back in from the window and gets dressed. Soon the boy returns.
Hello?
Ah, there's the turkey. Hello, how are you, my boy? I was right. This turkey's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Twice the size of you, my lad. Poultier's looking a little dubious. He's like, man, this old dude's sus. Oh, Merry Christmas, my fine fellow.
Merry Christmas.
Why, it's impossible to carry that to Camden Town. You must have a cab, sir.
Camden Town?
Yes, this splendid turkey is to be delivered immediately to the home of Bob Cratchit and family in Camden Town. Here, I've written the directions down, and here's the money for the turkey.
Thank you.
And here's the money for the delivery.
Thank you, sir.
And here's a tip for you.
Thank you.
And here's half a crown for you, my boy. Well deserved, well deserved.
Thank you, sir.
Both the boy and the
very Merry Christmas. Sorry, whoops.
both the boy and Portia run off. Sorry.
Very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Mr. Jeeves and Mr. Howell enter, quietly chatting as Scrooge turns around and sees them, and he hurries to them.
My dear sir, how do you do? I hope you did well yesterday. It was a very good thing to do. Very good thing.
Mr. Scrooge?
Why, yes, that is my name. I fear it isn't pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your forgiveness, and yours too, good sir.
Yes, sir.
And will you have the goodness?
Lord bless me, my dear Mr. Scrooge. Are you quite serious?
If you please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such generous.
Don't say a thing. Please come and see me sometime. Will you come and see me, both of you?
We will.
Thank you so much. I'm much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you both with a Merry Christmas.
Would you believe it if I told you that Scrooge went to church that day? He did, and walked about the streets and watched the people hurry and to and fro, and patted children on the head as they passed, and questioned beggars, and looked down into the kitchen of houses and up to the windows, and found that everything could yield him pleasure. He had never dreamed that any walk, that anything at all, could give him so much happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house.
Oh, Fred, it's beautiful, and it's too much. You shouldn't have spent so much.
But I love you, my dear, and my wife shall have the best on Christmas Day.
Oh, Fred, I love you so, but not just for this.
I know, my dear, I know. They embrace. There's a knock. And a doorbell. And a dog.
Now, who could that be?
I don't know. No one's expected at this hour. Fred answers the door and then reappears with Scrooge.
Hello, Fred.
Uncle Scrooge.
The very same. It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. I recall an invitation you made to me yesterday to come and dine with you. If that invitation is still in force, I should like to accept it.
Why, I don't know what to say.
Well, you could say, bah, humbug, a retort I heard heartily repeat often and shall never use again. Or you could say, come in.
Come in. Why, of course you shall come in. Uncle Scrooge, you have made us both very happy. Oh, may I introduce you my wife, Janet, my Uncle Scrooge.
Ah, my dear. It's plain to me now why my nephew chose you among women. You are indeed every bit as lovely as I've heard.
Why, thank you, Uncle Scrooge. We are very happy to have you here.
Now, I am sorry for things I said about Christmas, and sorry for your poor reception I gave you yesterday, of which you were so undeserving. I see the image of my sister in your face. I loved her, you know, and she you.
I know it, Uncle Scrooge. She loved you very, very much and wished until her dying day that we should always be close.
And so we are, Fred. And so we shall be. So we shall be.
At next we come back to Scrooge as he enters the counting house, back to his work. It is the day after Christmas. Scrooge is sitting at his desk with a mischievous smile on his face, humming to himself as he worked. Bob Cratchit enters.
What is it?
Morning, sir.
Mr. Cratchit, you are late, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What do you mean by coming here at this day and time?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
Sorry, I accidentally muted myself.
No.
Step this way, if you please, Cratchit.
Cratchit slowly makes his way to Scrooge's desk. It's only once a year, sir. I shall not be a repeat. I was making rather merry yesterday with my family.
Now I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand for this any longer, and therefore... From
behind his back, he produces a large leather bag full of coins.
Ba-ding! And therefore, I'm going to double your salary! Oh, yes, Bob Cratchit. I'm going to double your salary, sir. A Merry Christmas to you. A Merry Christmas. And I've given... a merrier Christmas that I've given you for many a year. And from now on, I will endeavor to assist your family in any way I can. And as for Tiny Tim, he will walk again. I know it. We needn't say a thing. Come with me. We will discuss the particulars over a bowl of smoking bishop before we so much as dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge embraces Cratchit, and they walk over together, and they appear singing off hand in hand. Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more, and to Tiny Tim, who did not die. He was a second father. He became as good as friends as a good master and a good man, as the good old city knew. And ever after, it was always said of Ebenezer Scrooge that he knew how to keep Christmas, and keep it well. If any man alive possessed the knowledge, may that be truly said of us and all of us, and so, as Tiny Tim observed. God bless us, everyone.
And cue hat.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our reproduction of A Christmas Carol. I hope you enjoyed it, because I had a freaking blast, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It was great. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Keppa Lily.
And here's our guest dog.
Our guest dog. Yes, it's our own Tiny Tim.
Unexpected role.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Keppa Lily. Thank you, Des West Mouse. Thank you, Zealous MK2, and especially Titchery, my wife, my love. Thank you guys so very, very much. I hope you guys had fun.
Man, it was
Thank you
so
for doing
good.
this. This was
This
awesome.
was fun.
This was really, really awesome. So,
Yay!
Thank you for all those shout outs, Deborah. You're
Hey.
awesome.
Yay, Deborah!
Deborah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you all the viewers for coming out. I hope you two enjoyed it. And thank you, Gemini, for that resubscribe. Was that a resubscribe or it was a gift sub? That was a resubscribe of 10 months. Gemini, thank you so much. Hi, Residual Chaos. How you doing? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've read the condensed version of Christmas Carol for the last 3 years, and I was like, you know what would be really, really cool is to do a full out like script read. And not to mention that this fucking script is like it's only 31 pages. That's fucking thick. There's a lot of shit. My God.
Beautiful script.
I think honestly,
Here are all my roles.
Most of my page is most of my script is just yellow. It's just nothing but yellow.
Yeah. It looks like somebody peed on it.
Yeah, I pretty much peed all over it. Yeah, there's the whole page.
Psychedelic Dreamer says Merry Christmas from
Hi, Mint. Hello. Hello. But no, I had a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll definitely do this again next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this is an absolute blast. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun every year.
Yeah.
We need to put out a play in the spring. I'm thinking one of Shakespeare's. What is the one about the wackos in the forest? Midsummer's Dream.
Actually, honestly, I think Zealous would definitely agree with me on this one. There's a great little play by an unknown author. I believe the play is called Springtime for Hitler in Germany.
I don't think we could pull that one off.
I don't know what to say. I think it's I think it's a very serious drama. I think we could all pull it off very well.
I think you're gonna have to.
Des, I want to see the Wiener Schnitzel on your head. I want to see a Wiener Schnitzel on your head. Make it happen. Oh my God, Mr. Claus!
Woo, Mr. Claus!
Mr. Claus with a 10 gifted power sub.
Woo!
Thank you so much.
Mr. Claus!
To Carolina.
Wow.
Thank you so much for those 10 gifted subs. Holy shit. Wow.
I got a cool, weird little.
We Des, we planned that out perfectly. That was exactly like an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, it ended up being exactly
an hour and 50 minutes. That's crazy. And they wanted me to pay all this money for that shit. They wanted. I was looking for scripts, right? I was looking for scripts. They wanted one site wanted $179 for the script.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Whoa.
And another one wanted some money. They didn't specify an amount, but it came. The one cool thing is it came with all the sound effects.
Oh,
they would give you. But that was the one. That was the one I was talking about where I had to email them. It wasn't like a pay thing.
We ain't got time for this.
I ain't got time for that. No, I got 2 hours to do this. 2 hours. I think we did very well for 2 hours.
Pretty good.
I did try to divvy up the roles evenly. Shit, there's a lot of people in this play.
You did good. You did good. Well, yeah, there's lots of little parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll refine it, There was a lot of like some weird because a lot of this stuff is like stage direction. So and I had to like improvise on some of that stuff. So
yeah.
Hey,
Tamara. I think if you had time to write out what you actually wanted to say in between stuff, instead of like trying to like read over it and not just say Blake exits stage left. Trying not to read that part.
Yeah. Well, that's sometimes that's like when you see me like hesitate. That's like the part where I'm like edge stage left. It shimmers out to a stream black. I don't know. So
it's like the bimbo weather lady or newscaster, and she's like, no, don't read this. Oh.
Don't read that part.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Don't read this. Stop saying this out loud.
You've said too much.
Don't tell them I got paid $300,000 for this part.
This is Ron Burgundy saying, "Go fuck yourself, California." What? What? Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
Who wrote
this?
I told you not to put that on the teleprompt. I will read it as is.
And he does. That's what's funny.
All right, we're rating Zealous, I guess.
What?
What?
Zealous isn't streaming.
What in the butt?
Mostly Waffles is playing The Sims 4.
I think I did nice with the overlay, considering that was 5 minutes.
Yeah, you did good.
That took me 5 minutes.
You did good.
No, it's cute.
Hey, Queen, how you doing?
You should see if anyone else is reading The Christmas Carol and then raid them.
Is it possible?
Maybe.
It's not impossible.
I'm glad you guys loved it.
That was a fantastic.
Merry Christmas.
We just chatting, right?
Yeah.
There's one called Roasting Christmas Meats. Whoa, wait, are we? Okay, I don't know if this is just my settings, but I came up first. Oh, recommended for me.
Yeah, recommended for you.
So I'm first, of course.
Where the hell have you, you getting, roasting meats? What the hell?
This one says roasting meats. Roasting meats and having drinks.
Alrighty then.
That sounds fun.
So, we were doing that, and all of a sudden, my computer monitor on my left here went black, and I'm like, oh shit, is my computer restarting? Because it seriously looked like it was restarting. I was scared for a minute. I'm like, no, because my part was coming up, and I'm like, this would just be exactly what would happen. You know, I figured, I was like, this is what's gonna happen. This is a thing that's gonna happen.
Sean, where do you see that at?
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in my
In your what?
In your performance?
No, in my Twitch recommendations.
Oh.
My Twitch recommendation is recommending mostly art and one person playing Phasmophobia.
My recommendation on just chatting is Sid, Iron Mouse, Amaranth, someone I've never heard of before, but probably similar to Amaranth. Japanese lady who's making Japanese Christmas cakes, and 3 female streamers who look like they're drunk as hell.
They probably are.
All right, guys.
I had alcohol.
All right, guys. So yeah, Film Sean found us Lou Corvette on Twitch. I'll post him up here. He is reading A Christmas Carol from the book.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's give him a hearty, warm Christmas raid.
Yeah.
And let's say he's got 9 people in there. Let's
oh fuck yeah!
Let's do that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we'll do my outro, and we'll have the
when
thing.
the outro starts, guys, don't leave.
Yep, don't
we'll
leave,
go,
guys.
And then
we'll rate them. Okay, guys. So thank you again so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this rendition of A Christmas Carol. I know we did. Thank you so much. Have a very merry Christmas, and always remember, save early, save often, guys.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Off comes the makeup. Off comes the clown's disguise. The curtains fallen. The music softly dies. But I hope you're smiling as you're filing out the door, as they say in this biz. That's all there is. There isn't any more. We've shared a moment And as the moment ends, I got a funny feeling we're parting now as friends. Your cheers and laughter will linger after they've torn down these dusty walls. If I had this to do again, and the evening were new again, I would spend it with you again. But now the curtain falls. Your cheers and laughter will linger after they've torn down these dusty walls. People say I was made for this. Nothing else would I trade for this. And just think, I get paid for this. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. God bless.